Commander Sophia Reeves never expected her routine diplomatic transport mission to change the course of human history. The crystalline spires of the Lassarian embassy ship gleamed through her shuttle's viewport as she executed a perfect docking sequence. After 15 years of flying for the United Earth Fleet, these diplomatic runs had become almost mundane. The Lassarians were the newest species to establish relations with Earth, their bioluminescent skin and telepathic abilities making them objects of both fascination and concern among humans. Sophia's job was simple: transport their new ambassador to Earth's orbital headquarters. Standard procedure, no complications expected. Ambassador Kelrian waited in the docking bay, his silver-tinted skin pulsing with gentle waves of blue light. Like all Lassarians, he stood nearly 7 feet tall, with elegant features that seemed almost sculpted from living crystal. His traditional diplomatic robes shifted colors with his movements, a display of his people's mastery of both biology and technology. "Commander Reeves," he greeted her with a slight bow. "I appreciate your assistance in this transition." "Welcome aboard, Ambassador," Sophia responded professionally, trying not to stare at the fascinating patterns of light playing across his skin. She'd transported alien dignitaries before, but something about the Lassarians always left her feeling slightly unsettled, as if they could see right through her. The incident happened during their routine security scan. A sudden power surge in the neural dampening field, standard protection against telepathic interference, caused a cascade failure in the ship's systems. In that split second, as emergency protocols engaged, Sophia felt a presence brush against her mind. The world exploded into color and sensation. Sophia gasped as foreign thoughts and emotions flooded her consciousness. She could feel Kelrian's equal shock and confusion as their minds unexpectedly merged. Training kicked in, and she fought to maintain control of the ship even as her mind reeled from the alien presence now sharing space in her thoughts. "This is unprecedented," Kelrian's voice echoed both in her ears and mind. "A spontaneous neural fusion with a human should be impossible." Sophia gripped her controls tighter, trying to focus through the dizzying double awareness. "Well, apparently nobody told our brains that. Can you undo it?" Through their new connection, she felt his uncertainty. "Neural fusions among my people are permanent, sacred bonds. But with a human, this has never happened before." The implications hit her like a physical blow. Permanent? She was now mentally linked to an alien ambassador she'd met 5 minutes ago. Through their connection, she felt Kelrian's own struggle to process the situation, his diplomatic training warring with the intimate nature of their sudden bond. "The council must be informed," he said, but Sophia felt his hesitation. Something else lurked beneath his thoughts: concern, fear even. The neural link pulled at her attention, showing glimpses of classified information now inadvertently shared between them. "Wait," Sophia said, catching fragments of hidden knowledge through their connection. "There's more to this diplomatic mission than I was told, isn't there?" Kelrian's skin pulsed with dark purple, concern, she somehow knew through their link. "There are factions among both our peoples who would see this bond as a threat, or an opportunity. We must proceed carefully." As if in response to his words, proximity alarms blared. 3 unidentified ships had just dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their weapons charged and aimed directly at the shuttle. Through their new neural link, Sophia and Kelrian shared a moment of perfect understanding. Whatever was happening, they were now in it together. Their minds worked in tandem as Sophia's piloting skills merged with Kelrian's knowledge of the attacking ship's capabilities. They would survive this, or face whatever came next as one. As Sophia engaged evasive maneuvers, she realized this was just the beginning. Their accidental bond had dropped them into the middle of something much bigger than either of them had imagined. And through their connection, she could feel that Kelrian knew exactly what it was, knowledge that was now bleeding into her own consciousness, whether either of them wanted it to or not. The neural link between Sophia and Kelrian proved invaluable as they evaded the attacking ships. His knowledge flowed seamlessly into her mind as she piloted through an asteroid field, using the natural cover to their advantage. Every maneuver was enhanced by their shared consciousness, human instincts merging with Lasarian tactical awareness. The shadowed stars, Kelrian's thoughts echoed in her mind as they ducked behind a particularly large asteroid. A militant faction within my society. They oppose any alliance with Earth. Through their connection, Sophia caught glimpses of secret meetings, whispered conspiracies, and a plan that made her blood run cold. The diplomatic mission wasn't just about establishing relations, it was about preventing a war that could destroy both their civilizations. The neural dampening field failure wasn't an accident, Sophia realized, the truth becoming clear through their shared thoughts. They were trying to assassinate you. Make it look like a human technical failure. Yes, Kelrian's skin pulsed with dark blues of regret. But they never anticipated this outcome. A human Lasarian neural fusion proves everything they fear, and everything I've fought to protect. Their shuttle's engines whined as Sophia pushed them to their limits. Through their bond, she felt Kelrian's admiration for her piloting skills mix with his growing concern. The attacking ships were herding them away from Earth's space, toward a region filled with electromagnetic disturbances that would mask any evidence of their destruction. There's a research station, Kelrian shared through their link, images of a hidden facility floating between their minds. 3 light jumps from here. Scientists who've been studying human Lasarian compatibility in secret. They might be our only chance to understand what's happened to us. Sophia processed this revelation while executing another evasive maneuver. Through their connection, she could feel there was more, something Kelrian was struggling to share. Show me, she commanded, opening her mind fully to their bond. The truth hit her like a physical blow. The shadowed stars weren't just opposed to human Lasarian relations, they had discovered something about human potential that terrified them. Humans possessed a unique neural plasticity that could revolutionize telepathic abilities. Under the right circumstances, humans could form bonds even stronger than those between Lasarians. Your people aren't just afraid of diplomacy, Sophia said as understanding dawned. They're afraid we'll surpass you. Some are, Kelrian admitted. Others, like myself, see it as an opportunity for both our species to evolve. That's why this bond between us changes everything. We've proven coevolution is possible. A blast rocked their shuttle, breaking through their moment of revelation. Warning lights flashed across the console as their shields began to fail. Through their neural link, Sophia and Kelrian shared a split-second decision. The research station was too far, but there was another option. The void caves of Xerxes, they thought in unison. A nearby system of interconnected asteroids, hollowed out by ancient mining operations and now used by smugglers and outlaws. Not ideal, but their best chance for immediate survival. As Sophia plotted the course, she felt Kelrian's consciousness shift, focusing on something that made her own mind recoil. The neural link was changing, growing stronger. Where there had been a bridge between their thoughts, something new was forming, a fusion of human adaptability and Lasarian psychic potential. This is what they feared most, Kelrian shared, his skin pulsing with patterns Sophia somehow understood meant both wonder and trepidation. Not just cooperation between our species, but true synthesis. Something entirely new. Their pursuers launched another barrage as Sophia pushed the shuttle toward the void caves. Through their evolving bond, she could feel Kelrian gathering his psychic energy, preparing to try something that had never been attempted between their species. Their minds were about to become something more than either of them had imagined possible, if they survived the next few minutes. As they raced toward their destination, both could feel the weight of history shifting around them. Their accidental bond hadn't just dropped them into a conspiracy, it had created an opportunity to reshape the future of human Lasarian relations. Assuming, of course, they could stay alive long enough to tell anyone about it. The void caves lived up to their notorious reputation. Sophia guided their damaged shuttle through a maze of hollowed asteroids, the vessel's hull scraping against ancient mining equipment. Through their neural link, Kelrian's knowledge of the cave's history merged with her piloting instincts, helping them navigate the treacherous terrain. "We're not alone," Sophia realized, picking up Kelrian's heightened awareness. The neural link had grown stronger in the past hours, allowing them to share sensory information with increasing clarity. Through his more refined senses, she detected other vessels hidden in the shadows of the caves. Outlaws, mercenaries, and... Kelrian's thoughts turned sharp with recognition. Revolutionaries. My people's equivalent of your political refugees. Those who oppose the Shadowed Star's isolationist agenda. Their shuttle's failing systems finally gave out as they reached a larger cavern. Sophia managed a controlled crash landing, the vessel skidding across the rocky floor before coming to rest against a wall of ancient mining equipment. Through their bond, each could feel the other's physical pain from the impact, along with a shared surge of relief at their survival. As they emerged from the shuttle, they found themselves surrounded by a diverse group of both humans and Lysarians. Their weapons were aimed but not fired, curiosity evident in both species' expressions. A tall Lysarian stepped forward, his skin patterns marking him as a former member of their science council. "Ambassador Kelrian," he said, then noticed their subtle movements mirroring each other, a telltale sign of neural fusion. His skin flashed with patterns of shock. "Impossible." "Nothing's impossible anymore, Director Vaxer," Kelrian replied. Through their link, Sophia understood this was someone Kelrian had once trusted, before the Shadowed Stars had forced him into exile. "The very thing our research predicted has happened naturally." The surrounding group lowered their weapons as Vaxer approached, his scientific curiosity evident in his glowing patterns. "A stable neural fusion with a human. May I?" Kelrian nodded, and Vaxer placed a hand on each of their temples. His touch triggered a cascade of shared consciousness, not a full neural fusion like theirs, but enough for him to study the connection. Through their link, Sophia felt Kelrian's trust in his old mentor warring with caution born of recent betrayals. "Extraordinary," Vaxer whispered, stepping back. "The fusion isn't just stable, it's evolving. Your neural patterns are harmonizing in ways our research only theorized possible. You've become living proof of what we've long suspected: humans and Lysarians are complementary species." A distant explosion rocked the cavern. Through their enhanced connection, Sophia and Kelrian sensed multiple ships entering the asteroid field. The Shadowed Stars had found them. "They'll collapse the entire cave system to eliminate us if necessary," Kelrian shared through their link. "We're too dangerous to their agenda alive." "Then we change the agenda," Sophia responded, an idea forming in their shared consciousness. "Your people fear human potential? Let's show them exactly what that potential can accomplish when combined with Lysarian abilities." Through their bond, they began to understand what their unique fusion made possible. Kelrian's innate telepathic abilities, combined with Sophia's human adaptability, created something unprecedented. They could potentially link with others, not in the complete fusion they shared, but enough to share truth and understanding. "The Shadowed Stars maintain power through fear and isolation," Vaxer observed, watching their silent communication. "Your ability to bridge minds could shatter that isolation forever." Another explosion, closer this time. Through their enhanced senses, they could feel the attack force approaching, and something else. Other minds in the darkness of the caves, watching, waiting. More exiles, more refugees, more people who believed in cooperation between their species. "We need to show them," Sophia and Kelrian thought simultaneously. "All of them. Not just what we are, but what we could all become." As weapons fire began to echo through the caves, they prepared to make their stand. Their neural link had become something more than either of them had imagined, not just a connection between two individuals, but potentially a bridge between civilizations. If they survived the next few hours, they might just reshape the future of human-Lacerian relations forever. The cave's occupants began to mobilize around them, humans and Lacerians moving in surprising coordination. Through their evolved link, Sophia and Kelrian could feel the threads of potential connecting all of them, threads that could become bridges of understanding, if given the chance. The storm was rising, but they were no longer facing it alone. The battle for the Void Caves unfolded like a deadly dance. Sophia and Kelrian's enhanced connection allowed them to coordinate the defense with unprecedented efficiency, their shared consciousness becoming a command center for the mixed group of human and Lacerian rebels. Through their evolved neural link, they could extend tendrils of awareness to others, creating temporary bridges of communication between species. It wasn't the complete fusion they shared, but it was enough to unite their disparate forces into a cohesive whole. They're targeting the cave's structural supports, Sophia realized, their shared consciousness detecting patterns in the enemy's attacks. They'd rather bury us all than let this knowledge spread. Then we spread it faster, Kelrian responded through their link. Their minds worked in perfect synchronization, reaching out to touch the consciousness of every defender in the caves. Through these temporary connections, they shared not just tactical information, but understanding, the truth about human potential, about the possibility of cooperation, about the future the shadowed stars feared. Director Vaxer worked frantically at a makeshift command center, analyzing their neural patterns as they extended their influence. The fusion is still evolving, he reported, his skin patterns showing both excitement and concern. Your combined abilities are exceeding all theoretical limits. Another blast rocked the cavern. Through their expanded awareness, they felt the cave system structure groaning under the assault. They had maybe minutes before the whole complex began to collapse. We need to evacuate, Sophia thought, but Kelrian's consciousness pushed back with an alternative. We need to make them understand, he countered, sharing a dangerous plan through their link. If they could push their abilities further, reach out to the attacking forces themselves. It could kill us, Sophia realized, feeling the strain their current efforts were already placing on their minds. Trying to link with hostile minds, at this distance, under these conditions. But if it works, Kelrian's thoughts intertwined with hers, we end this conflict now. No more deaths. No more fear. Through their connection, memories and emotions flowed between them. Sophia's childhood dreams of flying among the stars, Kelrian's lifelong belief in the potential of cooperation between species, their shared hope for a future without the barriers of fear and prejudice. What had begun as an accidental bond had become something profound, a blueprint for what their peoples could achieve together. The choice was made in a moment of perfect understanding. They reached out, pushing their fusion to its limits, extending their consciousness toward the attacking ships. The strain was immediate and intense, like trying to thread 1,000 needles while running a marathon. At first, they encountered only resistance, minds trained to block telepathic contact, wrapped in layers of fear and hatred. But their unique fusion gave them an advantage. Through Sophia's human adaptability, they found ways around these barriers. Through Kelrian's Lacerian abilities, they made connections that should have been impossible. One by one, they touched the minds of their attackers, sharing not just thoughts but experiences. The wonder of their first neural fusion. The potential they discovered together. The future that was possible if fear could be overcome. Some minds recoiled, but others began to understand. Through their expanded awareness, Sophia and Kelrian felt the first shots go wide, felt confusion ripple through the attacking forces as their shared truth spread from mind to mind. The strain was becoming unbearable. Blood trickled from both their noses, their bodies trembling with the effort of maintaining so many connections. Through their bond, they could feel their consciousness beginning to fragment under the pressure. We need to pull back, Sophia's thoughts were growing weak. We're breaking apart. No, Kelrian's mind anchored hers, even as both felt themselves approaching a critical point. We're breaking through. In that moment, something shifted in the fabric of their shared consciousness. Where there had been barriers, bridges began to form. Where there had been fear, understanding began to grow. The attack faltered, then ceased entirely, as the truth they carried spread through the neural network they'd created. They had done it, but at what cost? As their awareness snapped back to their physical bodies, both Sophia and Kelrian collapsed. Their neural link, stretched to its absolute limits, began to fluctuate wildly. Through their failing connection, they shared one last moment of perfect clarity. They had changed everything, but they might not survive to see the results. As darkness closed in around them, their last shared thought was of hope, hope for the future they had glimpsed, the potential they had proven, and the bridges they had built between their peoples. Whether they survived or not, nothing would ever be the same. Sophia awakened to the gentle hum of medical equipment and the strange sensation of an incomplete neural link. Her mind felt raw, like a muscle stretched beyond its limits, but she was alive. More importantly, she could still feel Kelrian's presence, though their connection had changed. The fusion evolved, Director Vaxer explained when he noticed her stirring. His skin patterns showed relief and fascination. What you and Kelrian accomplished, it should have been impossible. You rewrote everything we thought we knew about neural compatibility. Through their altered link, Sophia felt Kelrian regaining consciousness in a nearby bed. Their connection was different now, more refined, more controlled, but no less intimate. They had pushed past what anyone thought possible, and their bond had adapted rather than broken. The shadowed stars, she asked, though through their link, she could already sense some of the answer from Kelrian's emerging thoughts. In disarray, Vaxer confirmed. What you two achieved, the mass neural connection, changed everything. Those who experienced it couldn't hold on to their fear and prejudice. Not after truly understanding another perspective. Kelrian's thoughts merged with hers, sharing the full impact of what had happened while they were unconscious. The temporary neural bridges they'd created had sparked a revolution in understanding between humans and Lysarians. Where there had been fear of human potential, there was now fascination. Where there had been desire for isolation, there was now eagerness for cooperation. They're calling it the Great Bridge, Kelrian shared through their link, his mind still weak but growing stronger. The moment when two species truly understood each other for the first time. Our accident changed the course of history. Sophia attempted to sit up, and Vaxer helped her. Through the medical bay's viewport, she could see ships from both species working together to repair the damage to the void caves. But more striking was the way humans and Lysarians moved among each other, not with the old tension and distance, but with newfound understanding. The neural targeting systems are being dismantled, Vaxer reported. Both governments have called for immediate diplomatic talks. What you proved possible, it sparked a renaissance in human-Lysarian relations. Through their evolved link, Sophia and Kelrian shared a moment of pride tinged with amusement. All because of a malfunction and an impossible accident, she thought. There are no accidents, Kelrian's consciousness brushed against hers with warmth. Our peoples were ready for this step. We just needed someone to prove it was possible. The next weeks brought rapid changes. Their unique bond became the subject of intensive study, as scientists from both species worked to understand how a human and Lysarian had achieved such perfect neural fusion. More importantly, their example inspired others to explore controlled versions of human-Lysarian mental connection, leading to breakthroughs in everything from diplomacy to scientific research. The shadowed stars' remnants eventually emerged from hiding, their fear-based ideology unable to survive in a world where direct understanding between species was possible. Some of their leaders faced justice, but many of their followers simply integrated into the new unified society, their old prejudices dissolved by the possibility of true connection. Sophia and Kelrian's bond continued to evolve, becoming something unique in the history of both their species. They remained connected but independent, their fusion a template for what was possible between their peoples. They became advisors to both governments, helping guide the development of controlled neural bridges while ensuring the technology would never be misused. Did you ever imagine, Sophia thought to Kelrian as they watched the first official human Lasarian in Ural Engineering Academy open, that nearly getting killed on a routine transport mission would lead to all this? Through their link, she felt his amusement and deep contentment. I imagined many futures, he responded, his skin patterns showing joy, but none as remarkable as the one we created together. Their accident had indeed changed everything, not just for them, but for both their species. The neural link that should have been impossible had become a bridge between civilizations, proving that the greatest barriers between peoples could be overcome through understanding. As they watched the next generation of humans and Lysarians learning to build their own bridges of consciousness, they shared a thought that echoed through their bond: this was just the beginning. Their people's combined potential was limitless, and they had opened the door to a future neither species could have achieved alone. The impossible neural link between a human pilot and a Lasarian ambassador had become the first step toward a transformed future, one where understanding transcended fear, and cooperation replaced conflict. Together, they had proven that sometimes the most profound changes begin with a simple accident and the courage to embrace its unexpected consequences.